Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In the last video, we created the rig for the character and we parented to the character. Here it is. Here's the rig. We created all the bones and we even created IK for the legs. Here is the IK and here's the heel controller. Let me hit G to move. You can see that it's working. The only thing that's not working is the weight paints. All the weight maps are not good. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We are going to paint the weight maps so that the bones control the geometry the way we want it controlled. Not like this, obviously. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. This is the last file we did. This is how we left it. And so we are going to start painting those weight maps. Let's start off with the easy part, guys. Some of these objects, one joint controls the entire objects. For example, this bone controls the entire hat, so that's easy. For that, we're going to have to go to object mode. I'm going to zoom in here and we're going to select the hat and we are going to go to weight paint. And you can see all the vertices are painted blue. And here are the properties. I am going to go to object properties. I'm going to close this and I'm going to open up the vertex groups. This is where you can see, I'm going to move this up a little bit. You can see all the bones that we did, and I'm going to select the main bone to see if it's controlling any of this geometry, and it's not. The main bone, you can see, oh, by the way, blue means 0 influence. Red means 100% influence. And I can see here the weight is the influence, so if I paint it red, that means that this bone is going to affect these vertices. So I am going to go back to 0 and F for the brush, hit F for the brush size, and with a weight of 0, I am going to paint these with 0 influence for the main. In other words, this bone has no influence on any of the hat. The head has a little bit. We have to erase the head influence from this geometry. And then the hat has to have everything. So let's go ahead and put 100% at 1 and then let's paint all of these red. Now it's easy to go and leave some not painted, so you have to be careful and paint all of them precisely. Make sure that you go through every single vertex just like this. And then maybe we'll check the nose and see if it has any influence. We can erase the influence. And that's it. If we go back to object mode, select the armature, and then go to pose mode and select this bone, and then rotate it, you can see now that it is manipulating. It is controlling the geometry that we asked it to control. So that's good. I am going to go back to object mode, select the hat and hide it. Let's move on down. Let's go on with the nose. The nose will be controlled by one bone again. Let's go ahead and select the nose and let's see what's affecting it. Let's go to weight paint. The main bone, which is this one, is affecting it. So I'm going to erase the influence from the main bone. The head bone also. And I don't think the hat bone is. What about the shoulder, the left shoulder? It could be influencing this right here. What about the elbow? Nothing. So we just need to look for the nose. Get the weight to 100%, and then paint everything. We're painting the influence to the nose bone, the bone that's called nose, right there. Cool. So now if we go back to object mode, select the armature, go to pose mode, and then select this nose, and we can rotate it. You can see that the head is the next thing we need to do. So, but it's working. It's working. Undo that. Let's go back to object mode. By the way, if you want to see the names of the bones, you can go here and display, and click on names, and you can see that this one's called nose, this is mane, this is head, shoulder. You can see the names of them. And we'll leave it on just so you can see them. Here in object mode, I'm going to select the nose and I'm going to hide it. That has been weight painted. Just H. The next one is the head. The head is being controlled by the mane. I know that we call this head, but I want it rotating from here. Since the head is the body, and so we don't have that division, we're going to control it with the mane. So let's go to weight painting mode, and let's erase the influence from the head first. I like to erase the influence from any other bone that might be influencing it. There. Done. I know that the hat had a little bit of influence right there, and I know that also the nose had some influence there. We saw it in action. But the shoulder might have some. There it is. What about the elbow? No, not the elbow. The left shoulder. Get it off. The elbow. And then the hip, of course. And then the left hip, of course. And I think that's it. The knees. That's it. And now we have to paint all the influence, 100% of the influence, to the main bone. Crank it back to 1. If you need to, go ahead and adjust your brush size and paint all of it. Make sure that it's 100% to the main joint or to the main bone. All right, good. We're getting there, guys. The next one is, let's go back to object mode. Let me go to pose mode here, and I am going to rotate my mane, and you can see that the head is being controlled by this one bone. And those are the easy ones. The hat, the nose, and the head are controlled by one bone. The hard ones is the arms and the legs because they are controlled by multiple bones. So we're going to tackle the right arm next. Let's go back to object mode, select the arm, and let's go to weight paint mode and figure out what we need to do. This is the right elbow, right shoulder. So select, first of all, let's erase any of the influence. I know that the hip, the knee, and maybe the mane could have an impact here. So let's check on the mane. I've got 0, nothing. I've got the right hip, nothing, and the right knee, nothing. Okay, now let's go to the right shoulder. Here it is, and I want to paint the influence. So the right shoulder should affect right about here, all the way to the elbow. The right elbow, I'm gonna size my brush size, and the elbow should control everything up to here, except for not the hand. I'm going to erase the hand from the elbow, and then the hand should control the hand 100%. Oh, and the hammer, because it's part of the hand. So all of this 100% and a little bit past, just like that. Let's try it out, guys. So again, the elbow is this part, the shoulder is this part. Oops, I think I brushed up on this a little bit. We don't want that. Let's test it. Let's go back to object mode, select the armature, go to pose mode, and rotate the shoulder, which is good, real good. Undo. Rotate the elbow. Good. We've got a little bit of a problem there, but we're not going to move this too much. I like that bent. I like that bend. We're not gonna bend it this way too much. So I'm okay with it. And then the hand. That's R. And I'm okay with that. We're able to move the hand. Not a big deal. Undo. Now before I move on, one tip that I have is for you to create a keyframe. I'm gonna hit I and go for the rotation and then key it somewhere else, 20, 10, whatever, and then rotate it extreme and key it. That way you have a quick little animation in a test angle so that when we're weight painting, you can go back here, object, select it, weight paint, and then figure out what you need to do here in this extreme pose. Maybe by going to the shoulder, and we want to add a little bit of this one. We can just barely touch it and you see how it moves. And we move it to where we want it. For example, this one, we might not want it there. And then so we can paint the weights on an extreme pose and move the points to where you need them. Another tip, in object mode, we can go to the modifier and add a smooth modifier. And so that kind of smooths it out. Did you see that? And so it's a little bit more forgiving with the lines here. And so here we go. That's it. We've got our weight painted. And we can go ahead and delete the keyframe that we added. Let me go to the timeline and delete that keyframe that we set up for that. And we have no more animation. Good. We only did that to test it out. I'm going to do that to the other arm, but let's tackle one leg first. So for the legs, it's the toughest thing because they are already bent at a 90 degree. Boom, boom. And it's got shoelaces, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shapes within the leg. This is going to be a little bit tougher, but it's not that it's undoable. For this, let's go to object mode, and I'm going to hide the head. I'm going to hit H to hide the head. And in fact, I'm going to hide this. I just want to have access to this leg. And so select it, and let's go to paint, weight paint. For the leg, let's go back to the object properties. We're going to select, you know what, the main might have some influence, and I was right. So let's erase the influence that we don't want first. Boom, let's get rid of that. What about the head? Nope. What about the hand? The right hand? Nope. What about the left hip influencing this leg? Nope, we don't have any influence. What about the knee? The left knee influencing the right leg? Yep, right there. What about the IK heel left? A little bit. What about the foot left? A lot. So we all need to erase all that stuff first. And now let's go to the right hip and paint the weight maps. So boom, the right hip is going to control all of this all the way down to where the knee is. The knee will control all of this all the way down to here. The shoelaces right to about there, but not the sole of the foot. And now let's paint the right foot. The right foot will control all of this up to here, but not this. Right to there. And so now let's test it out. We are going to go back to object mode, select the armature, go to pose mode, select the heel IK, and then move it. And so it's looking good. Don't worry about the other leg. It's being controlled by this one also, but we're going to fix that when we fix this leg. But I just wanted to see how it rotates. It rotates good. I like that rotation. The only problem is when it overlaps like that here. And so, not a big deal. Again, we're not going to bend this leg too much. We're going to go to about right there. And I'm okay with that. Also, remember that we can always, I'm going to undo that. Go back to object mode. Control tab, object mode. And apply that modifier to this leg, smooth. Go back to this, go back to pose mode, and then G. And you can see how, yeah, it's not working perfectly, but I'm okay with it. We can bend this leg, and we can rotate it. We can rotate it to here, and I'm okay with it. Undo, undo. And so now let's get the other one done. Let's go back to object mode, hide this, select it, go to weight paint mode, and then go to its object properties. Again, the main is going to have a little bit of influence. Let's erase it. The shoulder shouldn't have any, and the right hip shouldn't have any. The left knee, the right knee should not have any, but the right foot has a lot right there. Let's get rid of it. What about the right IK? Nothing. And the left IK? Nothing. We're good. Now for the left hip. All of these should be controlled by the left hip. All of these, cool. The left knee should be controlled. All of these to about right here. And then the left foot should control these. And erase them from here. Also, remember, go back to object mode and throw on that modifier, that smooth modifier. Boom. And let's go and test it out. Let's grab this heel, move it. Man, it's working perfectly. Not perfectly. Of course, you're going to break it. You're going to break it if you go very, very extreme. But for little movements like what we need it for, just to lift up the leg or to stretch the leg, we're good. Plus, it's going to be able to rotate also. Not that much. This and this and this and this. Great. Everything is working. The last thing to do is this left arm. Control it. Go to weight paint mode. First, delete any other influence. Go to the object properties. I'm going to see that maybe these two might have in the nose. The mane doesn't have anything. The head, the hat, the nose, no influence. And then the left hip. Nope. So now let's paint the influence. Let's go to the left shoulder. I'm going to paint with a 100% influence, a number 1. All the way to the elbow, and then the elbow will take over this, but not this. And then the hand, left hand, should control all of this. So let's check the left shoulder, that, the left elbow, that, the left hand, that. Let's try it out. Now this might be a little tricky, this shadow. But let's go back to object mode, select the armature, go to pose mode, select, obviously this is going to work, not a big deal. Undo. This one, well, this one's going to work. Not a big deal. But this one, let's see this one. R. Not bad. Not bad at all. And still we need to put, and we still need to add the modifier. Smooth. Let's go back and see how it affected it. Rotate. Even better. Look at that. So we're done with the weight painting. Undo. Let's bring back everything and test everything. All right, here we've got everything, guys. We're going to test out the weight painting. Let's go ahead and start with the head. And let's move it. Look at the legs. Not a big deal. We can go up and down, up and down. And let's rotate it. R. Good. It's doing a good job. Let's rotate this hand. Rotate. Not a big deal. Rotate the elbow. Good. Rotate the hand. Good. Let's select this and move the leg. Good. Z. Grab this one. Move the leg. Good. Let's rotate this elbow. Good. The nose, we already tested it out. Oh, we don't have to move it. We need to rotate it. Good. And then the hat. Rotate. Good. Everything is working. All the weight paints have been done. Hey guys, in the next video, we're going to get to animate this guy. We're going to animate a walk cycle. And so I hope that you've enjoyed the video, guys. I hope that you're enjoying the series. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you, guys.